everyone, I'm Amanda, I'm the GM of ALF. For those of you that don't know us, ALF is a business development tool for agencies. We provide data and insight to help a very hard new business process go a little bit easier. I know you're all here to fill your pipeline, so what I'm going to do is attempt to speed through 11 brands that we think are ready for an approach from organisations just like you. Right, triggers we look for. So all the brands I'm about to talk about, we're seeing these triggers going on in these organisations. So what we think is important, new decision makers. So I'm talking C-suite, marketing, key moves that are going to change your marketing strategy. Brands on a mission for growth. Things like product launches or brands that have something in particular to say. Changes in marketing activity. So at ALF, we concentrate on advertising spend. We have Nielsen spend. And we use that to kind of track marketing activity. Agency cycles, so understanding relationships that are currently in place, how long they've been there, growth, investment, and mergers and acquisitions. And also brands that are really looking to target a particular market trend or consumer trend going on. So let's start talking about some brands. Let's look at consumer trend, in particular sustainability and transparency. So we know this is going to be a key trend in 2025, whether it's choosing kind of locally sourced produce or fashion that avoids unethical activity. This trend does reshape how consumers shop. So first one we're going to look at is Ferrero. Ferrero and sustainability is a top priority for them. So they are planning for all of their packaging to be recyclable, reusable, 100% of it, and they're already 90% of the way there. Their ad spend is on the rise with a 44% increase in Q1 this year compared to the same period last year. They're obviously demonstrating a really strong commitment to expand their brand presence. They had a really impressive year last year with a revenue increase of 9%. And earlier this year, Craig Barker was appointed as the new MD of UK and Ireland. So we've got a really important people move there too. And you may have seen in the news, I think it was last week, Alf reported it yesterday, that they're in talks to buy Kellogg's. So a very important strategy change there. Next up, also been in the news a lot recently, so sustainability remains a key focus for M&S. Notable achievement, 100% of their cotton is responsibly sourced now. They had almost 30 million worth of ad spend in Q4 last year, which is the highest quarter we've seen them spend since pre-COVID, about 2018, and their real focus is all across social media and TV after the recent cyber attack, which I think is going to cost them about £300 million in profit, they've said. They're likely to have to really step it up to bounce back. They intend to move forward with all of their store renewal programmes, so they're looking to have 180 full-line stores and 420 food halls by 2028. And when it comes to people, we've seen loads of changes. A few names for you. They've just promoted Shari Cremon to Marketing Director for Fashion, Food and Beauty. We've seen multiple promotions. So we've had Maria Santikos to Head of Marketing Procurement. That's a new promotion. Josephine Cornell-Daly, who's ex-Frasers Group, is now Marketing Manager for Brands. And they've also appointed Chris Pope to lead Sustainability Manager, so just showing that they are focusing those green areas as well. Renault, in terms of people changes, so they've appointed a new CFO, Duncan Minto, which was signalling really strong changes to the structure, likely to have new strategic shifts. And then the CEO, Luca Di Mao, it's his last day in the business today, actually, with Ivan Espinosa taking over. Now, from a UK perspective, they also have a new UK MD, Adam Wood. He's been in the role for about 7 months, which I would say is quite a good time to get in contact. They had a really strong year last year, which shows they're on solid financial ground, which could mean opportunities for more investment and growth. The share of UK EV registrations is really growing for them, so this is an interesting area because it's expanding their footprint in the electric vehicle market. They spent almost £11 million in advertising in Q1, which is a 70% increase, and they're clearly investing heavily in brand presence. Last year, go on to some slightly sexier brands in fintech now. So last year, over 1 million new users signed up for a fintech money management app, obviously driven by things like the cost of living and financial difficulties, and challenger banks have been on the rise in recent years. They're becoming much more prominent. I imagine many of you have subscribed to some of the brands that I'm about to talk about now that are taking on those big four banks. So let's take a look at some of the top players. Slightly less known one, so Alaka is a challenger bank that has been rapidly expanding in the UK fintech space. It's only been operating since 2019. It's reported consecutive profitable years and recently ranked the UK's fastest growing fintech by Deloitte and the second fastest growing company in Europe by the FT. They are really looking to maintain and grow that momentum, and they've just launched a new brand design, which I think happened in March. I'm not sure if that was supported by an agency or not, but its main focus is serving SMEs, a market that CEO Richard Davies views as a major opportunity. And they're what we call at Alpha relatively new entrants, so they've only really been active in the ad world for about the last 18 months. I think they spent about 200k in advertising in Q1 this year, and that was across digital TV, radio and social. A bit more well known, Revolut is recognised as one of Europe's fastest growing fintech startups, continues to expand its offerings. It's rumoured to be preparing for an IPO following its banking licence approval. Now, what I think is particularly interesting about this well-known brand is they're just about to do something completely new. They're launching mobile plans in the UK and in Germany as well. So they're looking to expand outside of fintech. They tend to spend most of their money in Q2 and Q4 of the year, if that's helpful. And the Q4 that we've just seen was a peak for them, for their spend, for their banking brand of about 10 million. But that's definitely a new offering coming to market with. And then, of course, Starling Bank. So we've had the job change. They recently appointed Joe Jordan as its new COO, and they have just announced the departure of their brand and marketing director, Rachel Carone. I don't actually have a new name for you in terms of the new marketing director, but I am sure they're going to want to put a stamp on this role and in the brand. Now, they had already been reviewing their media strategy and they've gone to pitch. And they had intended to announce those new media agencies this summer, but it's gone a little bit quiet. I think they were previously parted ways with Wonderhood and Electric Blue, but definitely one to watch there. Again, this is quite big ad spend. 13.3 million was spent across 2024, and a really popular brand. Global companies. Interesting fact that made me smile. EY Investor Survey has revealed that 62% of investors plan to invest in the UK this year. That sounds really hopeful, but global companies are expanding in the UK, often to kind of create regional hubs and a place to go on to internationally. So looking at some of these brands, Tubi. If you haven't heard of Tubi, it's Fox's free ad-supported streaming platform. It streamed Super Bowl for free and helped reach record-breaking numbers in the US. Now Tubi's expanding its presence here in the UK. It's got partnerships with broadband providers like TalkTalk, Connect Fibre, along with availability on TiVo and NetGem. There are about 20 million British homes subscribing to at least one paid-for streaming service, and Tubi has a significant audience to get in front of now. So it seems that they're being keen to catch up the market over here, and they've started spending too. And so as you can see, which I would expect to increase this year. Another one would be ManyPets. So Key Trigger, new CMO. It's got really ambitious plans to expand over here. The new CMO's name is Shane Larkin. The CEO, Lucia Barley, stepped into the role in April last year and is really driving the UK as a key space for them. They see loads of opportunity over here. They invested 2.2 million in advertising across last year, all around social and TV. Another brand to look at. 59% of people prefer to shop online, but 41% still enjoy going to store. Physical retail is far from dead, a little bit different, but far from dead. I've already mentioned Marks & Spencer's is still going on with all of their stores. So some brands where retail really matters. Who Gives a Crap? After building its name as a D2C brand, Who Gives a Crap has successfully made the leap into retail. So if you didn't know, it's now stocked in over 247 Tesco stores. It had a launch in Waitrose. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the brand. My flatmate's obsessed with it. It's known for its standout packaging, clear sustainability mission, donates 50% of all its profits to charity. It's also B Corp, so it's in that sustainability area as well. Loads of new product launches like compostable bags and mega length toilet rolls. It's all helping drive its growth. And to support its UK presence, Who Gives a Crap spent £1.3 million on advertising in Q1 this year. So this is a brand that's really ramping up and in a slightly different way. Matalan. Matalan has launched a major retail transformation, opening 10 new or relocated stores a year across the country and plans to for the next 3 to 5 years. They're upgrading 30 existing stores to modernise all the layouts and improve the shopping experience. On the digital side, Matalan is launching a new app and is investing in that to support online as well and loyalty. And they're spending a lot, with having spent £2.5 million in advertising in the first quarter of this year. We really think they're going to be ramping up their marketing. And then Charlotte Tilbury has just opened a new standalone store. It's expanding its UK retail footprint. Store in Brighton, I believe, which opened this month. It's the brand's first in Brighton and the 6th in the UK. Really busy summer season underway. The brand's increasing its marketing investment, we know that. We saw it spent nearly £2 million on advertising already in Q1 this year. 80% of that all going across social media. And it's worth noting, there's also been a head of marketing for global travel retail, Lisa Rolt, that just happened last month, and we're seeing loads of roles in the communication and PR teams changing as well. Hopefully that was useful for you. It would be great if this time next year I'm announcing that some agencies in the room are now working with some of these brands.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you.